All right, diving into some pretty heavy stuff today
Yeah.
surrounding Sean Diddy Combs.
Definitely.
You gave us a lot to unpack here, huh? News articles, court documents, even like the whole social media circus.
Right.
And it feels like, looking at all of it, we're seeing a career at a real turning point.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Diddy Grammys, the entrepreneurial thing, the
Right.
fashion.
Well, absolutely.
He's an icon, but how do we square that with, facing down federal charges?
It is, well, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
But also deeply unsettling.
Yeah.
This fall from grace, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
this isn't just another celebrity scandal.
Right.
This is someone who just last year got the key to New York City Lifetime Achievement Award at the VMAs.
Exactly.
And now, facing allegations that could mean life in prison.
And these aren't like, open and shut case allegations either. We're talking racketeering conspiracy.
Right.
We're talking sex trafficking by force, fraud, coercion, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
What does that even mean to get hit with a speaking indictment like what Diddy's facing?
So think of it kind of like a strategic move,
Yeah.
From the prosecution.
Okay.
It's not just listing out the charges.
Right.
A speaking indictment. It lays out their whole case, almost like building a narrative,
Yeah.
So you see the pattern of behavior they're trying to demonstrate.
But in this case, that pattern is...
Yeah, it's disturbing, to say the least.
And these accusations, this goes way back.
Oh, absolutely.
This isn't just recent stuff, right? This Adult Survivors Act seems like it's been huge for people who thought they had no voice anymore.
It's been a game changer, really.
Yeah.
For years, the statute of limitations would prevented lawsuits for older allegations.
Totally.
But this act, it opened up that window again, even for abuse that happened decades ago.
Wow.
And with Diddy, several people have come forward saying they were drugged, assaulted.
Yeah, and some even saying they were.
Underage at the time.
Underage, yeah. Cassie Ventura's lawsuit,
Right.
that was just, I don't even know what to say.
It was a lot.
She had the hotel surveillance footage
You can't ignore that.
of Diddy allegedly attacking her.
Yeah, and she did not hold back in her accusations either, right? Years of alleged abuse, physical abuse,
Right.
the pressure to use drugs, being forced into situations with, she called them freak-offs,
Right, with
male sex workers.
Yeah, it's, this wasn't a bad breakup.
No, this was something else.
This felt like a look behind the curtain,
Power and control, that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And, she's not the only one, right? Rodney, Lil Rod Jones.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He worked with Diddy, music producer, and he claims he saw even more disturbing things. Hidden cameras,
Yeah.
parties that were basically just fronts for sex trafficking.
It's terrifying.
And Diddy allegedly involved in covering up shootings.
This level of darkness right under the surface of someone so public.
It's a stark contrast, to say the least.
Yeah.
But what really gets me is how similar so many of the accusations are.
Yeah.
Multiple women saying they were drugged, then sexually assaulted. That's not a coincidence.
That's a pattern.
Exactly. It makes you think about a potential modus operandi.
Right. Like, was this more common than anyone knew?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes you re-examine everything, even stuff from years ago. Like that awful thing in 91, the city college party.
Yeah.
9 people died in that stampede, and it comes out later that Diddy's the one who decided to cut security in half that night.
That's something that's followed him for years.
Yeah.
Just a tragic reminder of what happens when safety is compromised, especially with someone as big as Diddy drawing those crowds.
For sure.
Regardless of everything else, that shows a disregard. That's
Hard to ignore.
hard to ignore. Yeah.
Now, obviously, Diddy's lawyers, they're fighting this hard, saying it's all just people trying to get rich off his name.
Right. The old easy target defense.
He's a target, that it's extortion.
It's common in these cases. But the sheer number of accusations, the details from so many different people, it's hard to just write it all off.
Yeah, that's where public opinion and, the actual court.
Oh, they're miles apart.
Totally different. And who knows how it'll all play out.
It'll be interesting to watch, that's for sure.
It's not just the courts Diddy's up against, though, is it?
No, not at all.
Social media is having a field day with this, right? It's like its own courtroom now.
Oh, absolutely. And way faster, way more ruthless than any legal system.
Yeah.
Social media, it amplifies everything.
Oh, sure.
Accusations get so much louder, spread further. It's a powerful tool, don't get me wrong, for people to finally be heard.
Right.
But it does make you wonder about due process, Innocent until proven guilty, all that.
Look at 50 Cent's Instagram. He's going in on Diddy.
Oh, yeah. Even made a whole docu-series about this, right? for Netflix.
And he's saying there's more episodes coming if more people come forward. It's kind of wild.
It's that line, right, between journalism and just, I don't know, profiting off someone else's downfall.
It's murky.
Totally. And we're watching it play out in real time.
And all this, it brings back up one of the biggest mysteries in hip-hop, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Tupac and Biggie.
The East Coast, West Coast thing, the 90s, that was a wild time.
And these cases are still just unsolved.
Yeah.
People have always wondered about Diddy, even before all this.
There's always been whispers.
Like he was involved somehow.
The rivalry, everything leading up to it, it was intense.
Right.
And then you have the confessions or supposed confessions.
People talking, yeah.
Informants. Even Eminem in Killshot, he says, the day you put out a hits, the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Cat killed.
It's chilling, even if it's, just lyrics.
Right, but still.
And with Biggie, it always comes back to the publishing, right?
A lot of money in those rights.
Like, Diddy wanted control of that legacy, even if it meant...
It's messy. We may never know the full truth.
No, probably not.
But it definitely adds another layer to all this,
To Diddy's story, yeah.
Yeah.
And this pattern, it kind of feels like it goes beyond just the legal stuff, right?
What do you mean?
This alleged abuse, the control, especially with women, like Cassie Ventura, what she's saying about the manipulation, even violence.
Right, and that's just one example.
It's like echoes of that elsewhere, even with those young guys he takes under his wing.
You're thinking the grooming accusations.
Yeah, Usher lived with him, right, as a teenager.
Usher said some things about curious things he saw, wouldn't elaborate.
Exactly.
I remember Justin Bieber's breakdown back in 2020.
Oh, right.
Talking about trauma, the industry, all that. Didn't name names, but...
Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
And then the parties, Diddy's parties, we've all heard the stories.
Legendary, some would say.
But some of them, they're just dark.
Dark how?
Like the fat Jewish, remember he said he walked into a room...
I think I know where this is going.
...full of guys being intimate, and they kicked him out for seeing it.
Yeah, he told that story.
An exhibit saying Diddy took him to this club, seemed like a gay club, made him super uncomfortable.
These are just anecdotes, of course.
Yeah, but still.
But it does make you wonder what else went on behind those closed doors.
Right, and let's not forget Fabulous, that interview.
Which one?
When Diddy's all over him about not partying together, Fabulous is squirming.
Ah. Yeah.
It's like this theme, control, doing whatever you want.
Power dynamics definitely at play.
More than just a few wild nights.
Oh, way more.
It's a lot, right? Like you start thinking about Diddy, the guy with all the hits, the Ciroc.
His brand.
Exactly. Seemed larger than life. And now it's like this whole other side.
It makes you question everything.
Yeah, like what do we really know about anyone, really?
The image versus the reality, right?
And the music industry, I gotta wonder.
What about it?
Is this just Diddy? Or is there something bigger, deeper going on?
That's the question, isn't it? Like hip-hop especially. It's always been about the hustle, pushing limits.
But when does that go too far?
Ambition turning into something else, yeah.
And all the people around it, entourages, record execs, even the fans.
Right. Enabling it, looking the other way.
Because the music's good or whatever.
We're all accountable, in a way.
I keep thinking, let's say it's true. Okay.
All of it.
Diddy's found guilty. What does that do to the music, to the whole industry?
It could be huge, or it could mean nothing,
Yeah.
Another scandal forgotten in a week, or it's the thing that finally changes things.
Well, wake-up call.
People talk about power, about abuse, and meaning it.
We can hope, right?
We can definitely hope.
Maybe this makes us all think a little harder, huh?
About what?
The people we put on pedestals, the cost of fame, all that.
There's always more than what we see on the surface, that's for sure.
Thanks for diving into this with me. It's been
heavy.
Yeah, but important.
Absolutely. And hopefully everyone listening, they keep asking these questions, demanding better.
That's what it's all about, right? All right, that's it for this deep dive. We'll be back soon with more.